Hey everyone, welcome back to this one-off video. I've been working on this for a little while on the side. I really didn't want to show it too much until I actually got the concept mostly finished, but I'm pretty happy with where I am. Now, if you've been following my Base Day 1 series, what we're doing is Base Day 1, we started out in a base and expanded it, kept expanding it. I'll eventually get to the point where I'm like thriving and surviving, and usually at that point that's when most people give up. But for me, that's when I like to start building something really large. So I wanted to build something this time that would outdo all of my other builds. And I thought going back to doing a skyscraper would be pretty damn sick. So I had a good idea in my mind too about exactly what I wanted to build, but it was hard to communicate. But here we go. This is basically it here. It'll be stackable, of course. It'll keep going straight up as far as I want to go. I haven't settled on how tall I want to make it yet, but we'll talk about that later in the video. Anyways, this is the WeWork building. I don't know if you guys are familiar with WeWork, but what it is it's a shared office space. So if we take a quick look here, there's so much to show you. I'm actually going to pop myself onto the ground here, and we're going to walk at it like a normal person. So pretend this thing is much taller. I placed all these blocks and painted them all by hand. So this has taken a little while. This is what I do in my downtime now when I want to just kind of casually play and create. But this is our official lobby here to WeWorks. So WeWorks is a shared office space. So you basically rent an office space and it's like all open concept kind of deal, and it did really well when it first debuted, but it didn't really go very far in the end. I don't know if you guys keep up with that kind of thing, but anyway, I wanted the build itself to be a shell, like a skin. So we have a exoskeleton on the outside holding in full glass walls. So all the walls on the outside will be completely glass. The inside buildings will not actually touch the outside glass. And when you come in here and you look up, you'll see up how many ever stories I ever make this. It's going to be insane. But you look straight up and you'll be able to see separately in between the buildings all the way up. I can't wait to see that view. It's going to be insane. But as you guys can tell, there's some challenges we need to overcome in survival. I need a crazy farm going on because like paint is AKA cheap. But it's not cheap when you build something this large. Of course, I haven't painted it at all, but I just did enough to really kind of show you guys what we want to accomplish here. So this will be your lobby. The only thing I think I'm going to change with this building because of the height I want to go with is we're actually going to double up this elevator. We're going to move it forward a little bit and then put two in here lengthwise in between each other. So each floor will have its own separate little office space cubicle things over on the side, on each side. And what I'm going to do too, even with Settlers mod, this will be the start of it. I'll make stuff that's not craftable, so you can build something like it's an actual POI. And if I can get the talent together or figure out how to do it, in the end when this is all built in survival, I'll actually go ahead and copy it as a POI, maybe make it as a dungeon, redo it as a dungeon. But like in here, I'd like to do like a little bit of a coffee shop idea. And over on this side, maybe like a gift shop or a supply store. And then of course, we could start out with the offices back here too, right? And then there is a downstairs, although I have failed to make any stairs on it. All of the elevators themselves, let's actually run around and go in the elevator here. They'll be independent. And they'll have shafts up here. So I need to make like a pattern along here that maybe makes it look like it can ride up and down. And then most of the doors will be closed anyway. So you won't see it. It'll just be a cool way to get up and down the building in the end. There will be a stair system that goes up and down the floors like this, as you see from back here. So you can take the stairs if you really want. But I think a ladder system in the elevator shafts would be a way better idea. So let's go ahead and actually go down to the basement here, and we'll check this out here first. So this floor, what I'd like to do with it is maybe put like a really large cafeteria area down here, sell some foodstuffs to the peoples, lots of seats and whatnot. You know how they work in large office buildings, kind of like that. It's a shared space, right? You come in and rent it, and then hey, your staff can come down here and eat out. Anyway, this is the elevator shaft. Obviously, I have to do way more with it. But in these side rooms, I can do, like, this is where all the machinery for the building can be. Like, all the heating, all the water. We could do that in these rooms. I still have to fine tune that. I'm going to take my time with this build and come in and kind of mess around and change stuff and do stuff. So this is not necessarily the final design, but it's pretty damn close, at least structure-wise. Anyway, so it's a pretty damn cool view from down here. If you come down to the corner and you take a look up, now imagine a whole ton of more stories like that. I think it looks pretty damn sick. So let's go up to the sky here and take a look. What this is, like I was telling you guys earlier, if we go above it, it's literally a wall of glass held in by pillars and anchored for the wind purposes. And this here is actually two separate towers. So there's one tower here and one tower here. So like even if you go to the basement and look straight up from here, you'll get that skinny but uninterrupted view of the tower straight up. I think it would look pretty damn cool. So it's more about like the big, tall, long, empty space in this build, I think. I think that's what I'm going for. So this elevator, if we split it in half and start it in the middle here, it'll just extend out this way and there'll actually be two shafts instead. I think we'll do that because we can go really tall with this thing. We are at level 54, I believe, down here. So if we take a look, I'm going to have to find a nice flat low-laying area in my Let's Play too. But if we look up, that is build height right there where that platform is. That's as tall as I can build. So we got a lot of room to work with. I don't know if I necessarily want to go that tall because that's insane. And it's honestly kind of skinny to go that tall, but it's almost doable. I don't know. We'll do the Let's Play anyway. Once we get to that point, we'll check it out. But there is other things here too. I'm actually going to have to set the time to the morning so we can see. Because I'm going to be building in the survival. Of course, I'm going to have some defenses around it to take out whatever zombies may spawn and come close. I'm thinking just some rows of spikes, honestly, and then just kind of keep going and fixing the spikes. Electric stuff would be pretty insane, because this is a larger foundation in the end. But anyway, as far as building supplies, we only have to do the first little couple floors out of concrete just to make sure. And then we can actually use wood. Like this here. These floors right here, like in between here, once they're painted, right? So I can use wood, fill in wood frames for that, make it real cheap. We can get rid of a ton of those damn trees. And then you only need supporting blocks on the layer that's horizontal. Whatever else is in between these, holding it vertically. Sorry, vertically. Yes, there we go. Left, right. Anyway, so the blocks holding it vertically doesn't matter. I could put wood frames in between these floors, and they would hold together. But it's the block that these come off of that's most important. Actually, I got a few seconds here. I'll do a good explanation, or a decent explanation of those basic physics for you. Okay, while I'm waiting for that concrete to dry over there, we're going to take a look at the basic breakdown of a block, and you'll see why I designed the building the way I did. You don't push stuff too far, but if you're creative about it, the pillars can actually look really good and serve as a function for the physics too of a building. So you basically got to build a really tall building like this like you would an actual building. But let's take a look at the blocks here. So this thing here has a mass of 20, which means this weighs 20. Horizontal support. So anything that comes off the side of this block, it can hold up to 300 weight. So technically, this block here can hold up to 15 of its own blocks. Now, there is a hard-coded length of 15 blocks. Even if it can hold more than that, the end block will just slide off. You can't go further than that. So keep that in mind. But this thing here pretty much can hold its own. So it has mass 20. It can go out 15. And has 1,000 hit points, so it's a pretty decent heavy block. But this is important to keep in mind too when you're building a base, especially once you start getting the zombies that blow up, the demolishers, you got explosion resistance of 130% on a block like this, on a metal block. On the steel block, the explosion resistance is 150%. And on a concrete block, it's 110. And on a wood block, you got none. So building with steel for resistance against those explosions is key, I think. That's why I'm doing it really quickly on my Let's Play. But back to vertical support. So like these said, these will hold, these weigh up to 20, and we got a wood block, and it says it holds up to 40. So we should only be able to go out 2 before it collapses. There we go. So finally collapses. See how that kind of works? See, I can go out 1, 2 on the side, and then go out 1, 2, 3, and it still collapses because it can only hold up to 3 of these, or up to 2 of them. Sorry, up to 2 of them in any direction. As soon as you put that third one on, the thing's gonna come right down. So these concrete blocks here, if this one over here ever dries, we'll get to it. Its mass is 10, so these are actually still pretty light. They're actually good building blocks, and don't let the image fool you. These are the first level, so we're gonna actually take a look and see if there's a difference between the first and the second too. But these ones here will hold up to 120, so they definitely don't hold, they hold a lot more than wood does, like 80 more. So let's see how far out we can go on this. 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. So 6 out on this one. So you don't even have to do the math if you have supplies to waste. You know what I mean? There we go. Yep. So you guys kind of get that deal. So actually, we'll see if setting cement will hold the same. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So setting cement does hold as much as the first level of cement. We'll see about the second level. And then steel here, this one should be able to hold it like all the way out. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. So see how the steel will hold that 15 out? This is how you want to build. Now, you can also do this if you want to. Let's put this on what's really, really flimsy here. Oh yes, a wood frame. There we go. So see, look at that. Sitting on wood frames vertically. But the block they're attached to is a horizontal block, so it will hold the same amount no matter what's underneath it. So on this thing, I can save a ton of supplies by making a lot of this wood that doesn't need to hold weight, especially further up, because nothing's going to happen way up there. I mean, if it does, my mind will be blown, but hey, that's what survival's for, right? And since this is 15, if I try to put that 16th on, see, it's going to kind of glitch out. Crazy, eh? Anyway, that's basics physics for you guys. So I kind of hope that helped. I'm really looking forward to doing this build. Like I said, a lot of this still needs to kind of really be done. You can see my stairs system coming out the back. But you guys kind of get the idea. I have to go through the XML, put in a ton of recipes. Each of these two will be windowed in. That way people don't fall off the edge to their deaths in the outside skin. But like, I think like every office is going to have a pretty damn decent view. I mean, that's not bad for a skyscraper, right? I think it'll turn out nice. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. This is the first time I've ever actually gone and built anything in creative first. But I really wanted to know what I was doing this time around before I did it. Because when we start, what I'll do is this will be season 2. This won't be called Base Day 1. This will be called Skyscraper Day 1. Or Skyscraper, whatever. I'll come up with something witty. Just not in the spot. But we'll do it in the time-lapse fashion, because at this point in the game, I'm going to be just like whipping the floors out, right? Like this, I'm not going to be able to talk for half an hour while building a skyscraper. I mean, that's kind of lame, right? So I think the time-lapse will come in handy. So we'll finish off the Base Day 1 series, and maybe come in and do updates and stuff throughout as episodes, special episodes at the end. But we'll go to a time-lapse fashion here, and then I'll have time to set up Settlers mod, and then we'll come back and do a Settlers mod series. I think will be pretty damn cool. Anyways, guys, if you like what you see, hit that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. Check out my playlist down in the top pinned comments. I'll see you guys over on Discord or in the next video. Peace out. Have a good one.
what you people say, I'm gonna do my thing my way. No matter what you people do, I'm gonna do my thing much better than you. No matter what you say or do, oh boy, you're out of luck. It's gonna roll right off of me like water off the back of a duck. And I go, yeah, I go. Yeah, I go.
Good boy. Fist bump.